Hi there, my name is Esbjörn and I have an odd hobby. That is collecting, filming and writing about wristwatches. I also have another hobby that consumes my own and my family's life, and that is traveling. As many others have discovered, Africa is a continent that everyone has to visit at least once. If not for its stunning natural beauty and variety from north to south, then most definitely for its animal life. It's almost impossible to not think of any of its national parks without going into full David Attenborough mode. The Draken Kruger is intricately connected to this continent in many ways. The model name refers to the Kruger National Park in South Africa, which is a perfect place to go and experience the Big Five. But what is even more noteworthy to me is that every sale of this watch will have you contribute to the great work of local rangers, protecting particularly rhinos from poaching. By simply buying this watch, you'll play a small part in protecting these stunning animals from meaningless murders at the hands of humans. So the question is, should you buy one for other reasons than just the obvious feel-good? Let's find out. If you're like me, constantly scouring YouTube for the latest watch reviews for the ultimate window shopping, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. It helps me bring more watches to feed yours and my addiction. Thank you. There is an obvious elephant, or should I say rhino, in the room here, and that is the size of the Draken Kruger. You either look at this watch and think, perfect, or you look at it thinking, this is bigger than both my wrists. In my recent interview with Mike, we discussed this in some detail. Mike loves the big, legible tool watches, and I do agree this particular one is not overbearing, despite its 44mm case diameter. The very fact that it's all titanium means the weight is only 140 grams, so it doesn't feel like a rock has landed on your wrist. Ultimately, it's down to your taste and wrist size, but in my opinion, this wears much smaller than my only other 44mm ownership experience, which was the Zinn U2 EZM5. That watch is a brutal beast of a thing. I'll return to the case a bit later, but let's check out the dial first. This is obviously the white model. You can get it in black and panda layouts too, even a blacked up DLC version that looks great. But this is the full Lume version, which is quite something when the lights go out. More on this a bit later. In my interview with Mike, he owned up to being a big fan of both Zinn and Damasco, and that's obvious here. Clear Arabics, legible subdials, and a date at 6 all creates a cohesive and attractive layout. The logo just under 12 fits the dial perfectly in my opinion. The minute markers are clear and not overdone, so it's easy at all times to see exactly what time it is. The Kruger has one of the best implementations of the mecha quartz movements that I've seen, with its little crosshair seconds design. To me, this completely negates the issue of a ticking seconds hand that you get from this movement, and I've always loved the crosshair small seconds hands on mechanical watches. To me, this is another example of Mike's eye for good design decisions. As I mentioned in my recent Nezumi Corbeau review, the only movement I've ever had fail on me was a mecha quartz movement from Seiko, so this would be my only concern. It's worth noting that this movement is not designed to have the large seconds hand run continuously, so you'll have to stick to the little small seconds hand. It is, however, an excellent grab and go watch, since it will always show the right time without winders or wrist movements. You'll just have to change the battery one day. The bezel is a 120 click unidirectional bezel. If I had it my way, it would rotate both ways, but that's a small niggle. It's also fully lumed and with an excellent clear ceramic insert. It feels pretty good with an almost safe-like feel, shallow but precise clicks, if that makes sense. To grip this bezel, you'll have the motocross tire-like grip, which was common on early Damasco watches, but not as sharp as they were, which is good since they had a tendency to eat your fingertips. Within the bezel is a double dome sapphire with inner reflective coating. It does pick up reflections for sure, but I've never struggled to tell the time in any angle so far. It protrudes a tiny amount from the bezel with a small edge, but you won't get caught in anything here, other than the lovely feel of a slightly domed crystal. So let's return to this case again. The buttons are all easy to depress and reset, and the large and sturdy main crown is easy to unscrew. Like the Tugela, it offers a Lume crown which is really fun in dark. The downturned lugs draw heavily on the Germans for inspiration once again. It is a tried and tested design that works well to bring the case and bracelet close to your wrist. Another beautiful highlight is the embossed rhinoceros on the back against the backdrop of the Draken logo. The surrounding print is also the only place where you are told about the 300-meter water resistance. Again, a very Germanic approach, where you don't shout about one's qualities everywhere. It's more implied through design rather than dull print that this is a piece that's built to last. The sturdy bracelet is quick release and easy to adjust with screw-in links. And should you not get the best possible fit for your wrist, having no less than a possibly overkill 6 micro adjust positions on the buckle should sort any wrist out. Titanium is obviously very strong, but it's also easy to scratch, so it's likely the bracelet will pick up scratches over time, despite its 1200 Vickers hardening coating. That said, this is a tool watch that's made to be worn, and it certainly wouldn't bother me to have a watch like this look like it's had a good life. If you really want your bracelet to stay pristine, the production models will be delivered with a nylon strap also. As mentioned, the Lume is everywhere on this watch, and I'll let you enjoy it here. I've not mentioned yet how much this watch will set you back, but I've certainly talked about some impressive specs so far. The Draken Kruger is currently available to pre-order at the equivalent of around $445 US. That is amazing value for money, even if you weren't getting all of the excellent specs I've covered so far. And don't forget that you're also supporting the efforts of Rangers to stop purchase. Mike from Draken continues to push out excellent designs, and in this instance, drawing inspiration from some of the best tool watches Germany has to offer. The very fact that you are supporting a small microbrand too should be enough to have you part with your hard-earned money. I'll stick the link to the website in the description of the video, and I truly hope you go ahead and order one. So what is next for Draken One Ponders? If you haven't seen my interview with Mike yet, then go and take a look, since he shares a little bit about his future plans there. You can already see some of his initiatives right now, with the option of compostable packaging and attempting to bring assembly and production home to New Zealand as much as possible. To me, this is yet another reason why, for us watch fans, microbrands is simply where it's at, and the good ones, they deserve all of our support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.